What is going on, Big Blue Nation, and welcome back to the Kentucky Cavalry YouTube channel. We have all kinds of different content that we will be putting out on this channel, including discussions, news videos, podcasts, and highlight videos for your favorite Wildcat players. If you're a Kentucky fan, please consider subscribing to catch as much of that content as you possibly can. Today's topic is definitely a pressing question in any Kentucky football fan's mind. A big issue for the last few Kentucky football teams has been the passing game, whether it be quarterback problems, lack of talent at wide receiver, or bad play calling from the former offensive coordinator Eddie Gran. Thankfully, it looks like Coach Stoops has finally had enough of being incapable of throwing the ball because he fired Eddie Gran, brought in a bunch of high-profile receivers, and signed 3 big-time quarterbacks within the last season or so. Former UK starting quarterback Terry Wilson decided to transfer to New Mexico for his final season of eligibility, so the big question moving forward is, who will be the starter in this upcoming season? Thankfully, we have some really good options and it'll be a close battle. We also have a brand new offensive coordinator named Liam Cohen, who was the quarterback's coach for the Los Angeles Rams in the NFL before coming to Kentucky to take over play calling duties. Cohen has been installing a pro-style offense for the team since getting here, and the rumblings have been that the players and coaches are loving the new-look offense. Before we get into the quarterback conversation, it's worth mentioning that the crop of talent at wide receiver for this upcoming season is a huge step forward from the last couple of years. Nebraska transfer Wan'Dale Robinson is one of the most electric players in the country with elite top-end speed and shifty moves to make defenders miss. We are returning our best wideout from last season, Josh Ali, who is ready to actually have a solid passing game so he can showcase his true abilities. Michigan State transfer Trayvon Morgan is a 6'6" red zone threat who was a 4-star coming out of high school. Sophomore Michael Drennan was the #1 all-purpose back in the country in his recruiting class and is ready to break out this season as well. There are others that are worth mentioning, but that's a topic for another time. I may do a video talking more about the receiving corps in detail. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's topic. We have 3 high-level quarterbacks in our QB room who will be fighting a tight race for the starting spot. First off, we have Joey Gatewood, who was a borderline 5-star prospect coming out of high school. He spent a season and a half at Auburn before narrowly losing the starting job to Bo Nix. He then decided to transfer to Kentucky, where expectations were incredibly high. This past season, the passing game struggled still, with Terry Wilson at the helm. Blame can be passed around to the lack of talent at wideout, Terry Wilson's inconsistency, or Eddie Gran's horrendous play calling. Either way, we really could not pass the football. Joey Gatewood got a couple of opportunities to play, but never really showed the talent that we knew that he had. We saw flashes, but it was obvious that the system just wasn't made for him. Gatewood is a 6'5", 235-pound quarterback who has drawn Cam Newton comparisons his entire career. He's a decorated runner with nice speed for his size and a ton of strength on the ground, as well as good vision. His passing game is raw, but he's got a strong arm and has shown spurts of solid accuracy. The whispers coming out of Kentucky's spring camp right now is that Gatewood is looking better than anyone else on the team and that he's currently the leader in this competition. A big part of that, however, may be because Will Levis is not on campus yet. Levis played for football powerhouse Penn State last season and had a couple games as the starter. There's a ton of buzz that Levis is the favorite to land the job, and I may actually agree with that notion. Levis is a prototype dual-threat quarterback who has showed an innate ability to both run and pass the football at a high level. In his 2-year career at Penn State, he completed 61 out of 102 pass attempts for 644 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He also got it done on the ground, tallying 133 rushing attempts for 473 yards and 6 touchdowns. As you can see from his stats, Levis had more rushing attempts than passing attempts and had double the rushing touchdowns as passing touchdowns. The good news is, Levis went viral over the offseason on TikTok after showing himself throwing absolute rockets in workouts, so it looks like his passing ability was slightly undervalued at Penn State, where they used him as a package running quarterback instead of letting him show his true talents. The third option in the quarterback room is most Kentucky fans' favorite of the group. Beau Allen was a 4-star prospect coming out of high school and is the only Kentucky native out of the 3 main guys. Beau is more of a pure pocket passer with a light scrambling ability when necessary. Allen was the fan favorite last season, and many Kentucky fans were begging for him to get an opportunity when the passing game was as bad as it was. Allen is certainly capable of winning this job, but he's technically a redshirt freshman and may still need some time before he's ready. We know Allen can really sling the football, but experience is incredibly valuable at the QB position and he might just not be there yet. I'd say Beau Allen's the least likely of these three to win the job this season, but he's definitely going to be the Kentucky starting quarterback eventually if he waits his turn. If you ask me, I think Will Levis is the runaway favorite for this job. His only disadvantage is that he's the only quarterback who is not on campus yet, so he's going to be a little bit behind when it comes to learning the new playbook and system. I think he's a complete QB with high-level talent both through the air and on the ground. He got valuable time at a high-level school in Penn State, and I just think that he has what it takes. Gatewood is definitely in the mix though, and if he's looking as good as they say he is, he might be the day one starter when the season begins. I think Beau Allen is probably the least likely, again, of this bunch to win the job, but anything could happen. What I do know is that this staff is going to pick the absolute best player of the group to be the starter. All of these guys are relatively new, so there won't be any favoritism or anything of that sort. Some people accused Mark Stoops and the staff of showing favoritism towards Terry Wilson and refusing to bench him when he was struggling. Mark Stoops is obviously tired of being one of the worst passing offenses in all of Division I football, so I think he's going to do whatever it takes to change that narrative. Who do you think will win the starting job? Let me know in the comments down below and we'll have a discussion. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Kentucky sports content. Thank you for watching and go Big Blue.